Hi, I'm Stephanie, the creative girl behind the designs. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, thanks for stopping by. If you haven't already done so, I would truly appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification alerts so that you know when I post my next video. In today's video, I will be addressing a question that had been posed by Amy B in a past video that I had done with my monthly spread. So as you recall from past videos, I have combined 3 planners into one, and the dashboard that I use for my month is the Celestial Planner, which is a monthly layout. And with that monthly layout, you get a task list for basically in place of the weeks. And she asked the question to see ways in which I use the task list for planning social media. So what I wanted to address today was I'm going to go through 5 different layouts, Happy Planner layouts. I'll be using pages from their own planners, and then I will run through the different ways that you can use that particular layout in planning your social media content. And you could use it for just if you use one channel, or if you have multiple channels or outlets for which you connect with your followers. So I will go through each one and kind of just give you some tips and suggestions on ways you can use that particular layout. And it will include, let me go through the list here quickly. It will include a checklist layout, a dashboard layout, a monthly layout, which is the task list, and then a teacher layout, and let's see, what am I forgetting? Color block. And then the color block will also kind of filter over into the idea of a vertical, because it is basically a vertical layout. So I'll go through each of those, and I'll kind of, write in there the things that I do and suggestions in different ways. You might be able to use those particular spreads multiple different ways. So I'm going to jump right in. I will potentially be using some of the Happy Planner colorful boxes just to kind of add into those pages and give you a real feel for how it would look if you set it up that way. So I pulled papers from a variety of planners. I'll let you know what planner page I'm using as I get to that part. And so let's just jump right in. So I'm gonna move some things out of the way. And how cute is this little nest? So cute for spring, right? It has nothing to do with planners, but it was just too cute not to include it. But I'm going to tuck this little birdie nest away. And so the first layout I'm going to go over is the checklist format or checklist layout. And basically that is, I am using for the demonstration pages from the Missmaker, the OG Missmaker planner. And I've gone through and I've already kind of put in some washi over the headers. So the top header was, let me just check this, daily doodles and bright ideas. The second one was to-dos, and the third was plan on it. And then over here, of course, is your sidebar. So while I won't go through and decorate the entire page in a way that I would do it, I'm going to put in the parts that are functional so that you can see how I would use that and the tips and suggestions for how you can use that. So there is, so in this planner or in this layout here, which is the checklist, I am making the suggestion, and this is how I did it. So it's things that I have put into play with the different ways I've planned in different planners. So there's a multitude of ways you could do it, but these are just ways that I have tried, and maybe they'll work for you, or maybe you can take parts of it and incorporate it into your planning style, and it may work for you. It may inspire you to create something that is unique to you, which is taking tidbits of each one. So again, it's just purely information, and hopefully it inspires your planner, social media channel, or it inspires your social media content plan. So let's see. So I'm going to leave the tape here. And this one here is a long box. The wording was so long, I didn't think I could find a sticker, so I did cover it. And to keep in sync, I just covered the rest. So what I would do is in this top box here, you could use this for your top priorities. Again, let's ignore the sidebar, even though the sidebar says this week's priorities. You can use this for your top priorities, your top 3 that you want to get done that week, appointments, meetings, phone calls that need to be made. And then again, if you're planning on content, you could use this for your newsletter. So in this, you might write down the topics you want to bring up in the newsletter, or things you want to point to for future newsletters. So that's what I use this top area for. And then this, the checklist part, is really the bulk of the work. Now, in the past, when I was using this layout, I was using it as, when I didn't have YouTube at the time, I wasn't posting videos, and I was using it for my blog. So what I would do here is I would just list out the topics that I had intended to write about, or even the points that needed to go into that particular post for that day. Which is, and not many people post on a blog every day. It is quite tedious to pull that information, get your pictures, and so forth. So most of the times, these blocks day by day may have been blank, so they were kind of going unused. Or I would write in what I needed to do for the blog. So, update a widget or add this to the store or whatnot. So in this last box here, I would suggest, and I have used for my other social media. So where I'm going with this is I am pushing up. So with the checklist, I'm suggesting to use it for YouTube and or blog if you have one, because again, you're not usually going to blog every day. You may, but you could do it every other day. So I would use this section for your YouTube and blogging. And you can even section off the boxes if you need to put like another line in here, and that would help you as well. And then down here, I would use it for other social media. So, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, if you do that. And then also you could incorporate down here if you wanted to. If you wanted to make this all YouTube, you can make part of this down here your blog as well. So that's a suggestion for this layout. So let me and then this here over, this says this week's priorities. If you had this layout, more times than not, it doesn't have this anymore. So what you could do is you could still make this week's priorities, and then your priorities up here could be day to day. So if your priority was to do 3 blog posts this week, then you might choose the 3 days that you're going to make a blog post, and that would go into that day as your top priority. So what I'm going to do is just to kind of give you a feel for what it could look like, I'm just going to kind of toss in some boxes. I don't know that I'm going to have a matching yellow. All right, so what I would do is just go through, and you can go ahead and put it anywhere in your planner. Most of the planners today come with a neutral sidebar. Most of them are neutral. So you really don't have this color going on anymore. But if you happen to have an old planner, Miss Maker planner, or a similar planner kind of hanging around, you could very easily incorporate the same structure. And you could do it even with the neutral plan, when the pages are just kind of minimalistic and neutral. So this box would carry over here, and over here. So it would be the same, but I'm not going to waste the stickers and put them over here. So this is how I would set this page up. So I got to kind of turn this over because I'm left-handed, so I'm going to be angling it in a way that probably isn't very visual, but I'll turn it once I'm finished. So up here, I would say, just to keep it simple, I would say top priorities. And you know, when I said that an option is to use it for the newsletter, well, that could be a top priority as well. So you might put this in as top priorities. I'm just going to write this in. I'm going to have to make it priority. I write big, so I kind of ran out of space. And then this, let's make this, for the sake of argument, YouTube. And then as you list your YouTube, so there'll be days you film, there'll be days you may edit on a different day, but, I tend to film and edit the same day. So it'd be, you could do, so for example, on Monday, if you want to film, and you may be doing multiple videos, you might be filming or editing. So you could do film, edit, just abbreviate it, and then that, and you can write something. You could do post if you're posting it. So you just, kind of little letters or, ticklers to tell you what it is you're doing on that day. And then down here would be other. And then I'll abbreviate social media just as SM. So in this section, you might be doing multiple things. So I would suggest, let me pull out my handy dandy color dot zig marker. Got my pen there. So what you might want to do is you could do one of two things. Let me expand this just a little bit more. You could say down here, so let's say you have 3, just as I was saying, Instagram, Facebook, and blog. So you could do Instagram, Facebook, blog. So it will require you to add in some things to your planner each week, like these lines and the stickers, maybe again, if you're covering something up. And then under each area, let's just say, I'm just going to put a couple dots, and I'll explain why. So then what you would do is you'll put here, so this would be Instagram, and I just abbreviate. You could write it out. Then we had Facebook, and then we had the blog. So there is a difference between, administrative type things for your social media channels and then planning the content for your channel. So for example, you could use this sidebar. So with the example of the blog, you could use the sidebar to list out the administrative things you need to do. Update widgets, don't forget to add this into this page or whatnot. So that could be something in your sidebar that you use for the smaller tasks. And then here you would do your bigger tasks. Now, what you do on these are going to be, in these areas, are going to be dependent upon what your social media goals and content plans are. For example, again, let's say you wanted to do 3 blog posts a week. What you're going to need to do is make sure, if your goal is 3 a week, then you have to make sure that on at least 3 days in this week, you have that sectioned off for your blog. So on the days you don't, you can make it just IG and Facebook, and not put the blog. So again, I'm going to kind of do it quickly, some quick tips. So that is how I would use the checklist layout. And so the next layout is the color block format. And this one mostly comes from the student planners. Sometimes they're in the regular planners as well. So the color block is, just as it says, it is a week at a glance. The Monday through Friday has a color block. Every other line is color blocked. And then your Saturday and Sunday are in full with a box down at the bottom. and then your sidebar. Again, these are older planner pages, so they have a lot of color and there's, you know, things written in on the sidebar. There is variety today with the minimalistic spread for you to be able to decorate this up. But again, I'm showing these because if you have an older planner, you could repurpose it if you needed to. Okay, so for this particular planner, spread or layout, I treat this, it is technically vertical. And while this isn't a full vertical on Saturday and Sunday, so let's say you want to do things Monday through Friday, you know, your Saturday and Sundays are free. So this not going all the way down is not really a problem, but this is a vertical format. So what I did in the past is, and I don't remember what planner this came out of, so I can't speak to where it was from. So let me pull this over. I'm gonna, again, turn it sideways. And let's see, since we have what, yellow, let's try and keep some coordination in here. Let's bring out a blue or bring out a teal. Let's be colorful. All right, so what I would do in this spread is basically, it's almost like the teacher spreads where you section off each line. So now here's where it comes from. Let me explain what I mean. I mostly choose vertical layouts because I just like the vertical layout. And what I had done in my past vertical planners is I had actually drawn, I just penciled in the line. It did require me to do it every week, but I would pencil in the lines all the way across so that I had 6 or 7 boxes depending on what I needed. And that functioned great. And so this is, I'm going to set this up the exact same way I did it with my vertical, that I just added the lines in. It just so happens that these lines are already here. So I'm going to go down the side. I'm going to put a little color here. I could have done different colors, but I'll keep it simple. All right. So basically what I'm using each of these for is a topic or a priority. So again, it all depends on how many social media channels you manage or the ways in which you reach out to your followers. So in this, you might do again. I always keep the top, if I have enough space, I always keep the top for top priority. You could do top 3. I'm going to put top 3 for now, just because it fits, I think, a little better. So we have top 3. And then I would do, again, at the time, my first priority was my blog. And it still is, but now I have YouTube added in. So I would have blog, and then, you would just go down with all your channels that you want to manage. So this could be IG. And again, you can spell them out or not. I'm just going to abbreviate YT YouTube. Pinterest, I'm going to just say pin. And let's see, Facebook. And then last, you could say, like if you have a group, you can do a Facebook group. Again, whatever your channels are. So then you would take each section, and let me flip this back around for you. All right, and then just quickly, this little block over here, what you could do is you can make this your next week plans. You know, to kind of get ahead of the game. It could be a bullet list. It could be just you jot some notes down. You may just find a different reason to use that block. Assuming that, you know, sometimes they go all the way down, just the plain box, a vertical box, but they don't have the colors in them. So it really just depends on your planner. Again, these are just for demonstration. So basically what you would do from this point is, oops, sorry. So you can take your, I'll just take the same highlighter I was using. So for example, you want to post in your blog 3 times a week. So you might say, I'm going to post Tuesday, you just put a notation, Thursday, and then you do Friday to post safe for the weekend. So what you put in the boxes is going to be dependent upon what your particular content plan looks like, what your goals are. Now, in this case for Friday or Saturday and Sunday, they're blank, and I would tend to use those for personal things that were coming up that I wanted to make sure I got in my planner. So this again is just overly, bright and colorful, but this is how you could use this layout. And again, I don't remember the planner this came from. Your sidebar, if you have these in here, absolutely utilize them. There's different ways you can do that. And that will again be dependent upon your plan. So the next one that I'm going to go through is the dashboard format. So this has been most popular, I've seen across social media for a couple years, I'd say. And again, everyone is different. It doesn't mean that everyone is using it. I just see it a lot. And I think in 2022, I had pasted in almost each one of these different layouts just because I was trying to test it, see how it worked. And I really tried to make dashboard work for me. It just wasn't working for me. I don't know why, but I kind of dropped it and I moved on. But I'm going to show you what I did when I was trying to use dashboard. So for this one, I have pulled pages from, this was the Detailed Florals Planner. And the reason it's dashboard is because of this side, which has a dashboard for everything you need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of doctor this up a little bit. I'm going to put some stickers in. I'm going to go back to my, handy sticker book. And I'm just going to pop some stickers into different places so that I can just give you a flavor for how I use this. I'm not going to white them out or cover them up. I'm just going to kind of put the stickers on there just to kind of keep moving. And even now, see, I'm not even using the planner, but yet I'd like it to be as nice as I can get it. So let me see how well I can get this on there. Okay. This is about as pink as I can make it. So you could, again, white out the whole box, or you could just put a green over it. Again, it's really dependent upon how you want it to do your planner. I'm just going to pop these in here just because there is a lot of 5 formats. There is a lot of information that I wanted to get across in this video. So nothing will be perfect, but it will be out there. And then I have this one up here. This one's probably going to look the worst when I cover it, but that's okay. It's just for demonstration. One more for over here, and then I can start showing you how I set mine up. So this was one that I had gone back to a few times just because I really tried to make it work, but I just couldn't do it. So here's how I would use this spread, the dashboard spread for my social media when I was using this layout. So I would use this section as my blog. Again, you can print, fancy letter, whatever. I'm just doing something different. So I would use that as my blog. I use this bullet list over here as Instagram. And this box here would be Pinterest. And then what I would do with this box is I would actually divide it into two. So I would just come along and just put a line, you can make it match or not. It's up to you. I just go in, put a line in there, and then you could put another box there. Let me grab another pink box. All right, let's get this one in here. And then over here, I would use this box for Facebook. Down here, I had multiple uses. Sometimes I would have it broken out into 4 different sections, and then other times I had it only as 2. So in this case, I had, let's say, the group, which, by the way, when I speak about the group, I'm speaking about Creative Planning Expressions, which is on Facebook. And you can join the group, participate, you know, share your spreads, share your tips and ideas. And I'm sure everyone will benefit from the information that you provide, and that you could also be inspired to do some of the things that you're seeing on the group. So I would use this section for group, and then on occasion I would separate it as well and use it for my newsletter. I don't have any more pink boxes, so I'm just going to use a pink highlighter instead, just to kind of, we can put that there. Again, not matchy-matchy, but it's just for demonstration. And then this would be for my newsletter. Okay. Then, as was typical across most social media, most people would use this area for their YouTube. And then, you know, you still had in this spread your days that you could bullet out. So this would become your plan, and then you could plan out the day that you plan to do it. Of course, with YouTube, you already have your days in here, or you could white those out and make those bullet points. So there were multiple options with the dashboard. I just struggled to be able to figure out how to use it best for my needs. It had its function, but it just didn't work for me. And again, not everyone can, you know, work with the same layout as other people. So the next spread I'm going to do, I keep saying spread, but it's a layout. The next layout is the monthly format. Now, the monthly format is the task list. So you have your dashboard, that's the one I use. You have your dashboard, and then you have your task list. And you'll get multiple pages of those. And I'm, again, using it for demonstration. And I pulled out only one sheet, but I pulled out, this came from the Trendsetter Planner. Some of you may recall, but it was very, very colorful. So I'm not going to change any colors or anything of that nature. I'm just going to leave it as it is, and I'm just going to show you a few different ways in which you can use this particular layout. So let me just fold up my page there. And I'm going to grab, I think a couple different color pens. Okay. So I just grabbed, oh, that's the same. A couple different pens. I may use all the colors, I may not. I think I need at least 3. So let's do the blue, and then we'll do brown. Not very spring colors, but that's okay. It's purely for demonstration. So, oops. This, people are sometimes, they see the page and they have a block as to how to use it. And it can be, most people don't like bullet points or, daily to-do lists. Other people do. But I found it to be pretty useful. So I'm going to show the different ways in which I either had used it or I had considered using it. And with these pages, you usually get at least 4 weeks worth of pages. So you will have each week a 2-page spread. With maybe the last week, you only get like this, like a half page, because you have this little box down here. And again, this box, you can do the same thing. You could do for next week. So let's just pencil that in. Okay. So let's consider, I'm not going to do, 2 pages worth, but so just envision you have the same layout, exactly the same over here. So let's say this is just a whole week, right? So this is how I would use it. Let's look at step 1. We'll do it in, I think this is purple. Let me see. Yes, it's sort of a pinkish purple color. All right, so I realize these are all colorful, and I hope that doesn't, take away from what I'm trying to describe. So let's consider this is your full page, and you're on week 1. And so what you might want to do is use each bullet section, and in this case, the colors do work then because I can show you the different lines for each color. So you could use that for each social media channel. So you could use this for blog, and then this one would be YouTube and Instagram, Facebook is down here, Pinterest. I'm just writing all the channels that I try to manage. When you're the only person doing it, some gets done, some doesn't get done. Some days are better than others. It's just the way it is. You could do groups. And then this last one could be your newsletter. So that is one way to use this layout, which is basically to use it for each area, each social media channel, and listing out the items that you're going to put under that channel, for that day, or technically it's for this week. This says daily to-dos, but ignore that. It's really a weekly to-do. Because you can white that out, put in a new header. So one way is that way, is to do each block for each channel that you need to manage. Then the next way, I am going to incorporate, let's see, I got a blue. Okay, so let's use this. The other way is to create, each box would become a day. Now, when you're looking at a weekly spread, you're basically going to get 2 weeks worth out of one double page layout, which, you're going to end up with extra pages, which is fine. You may end up using them somewhere else. So what I would do in that case, and I had done this, you're basically just going to take a mild liner because it's not too dark, and you're just going to kind of go through and just mark your days. Monday, I probably won't get all the days in on this one because I grabbed one that had a box at the bottom, but you'll get the point I'm making. Wednesday, right, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh, I did get it all. Sunday. Okay. And again, I started on Monday just because that's usually when people start doing things. You can start it on Sunday if you'd like. So then, in combination with doing the daily, now you're going to take into account what you might have to do daily for that day. So for example, let's say on Monday, I hope I don't smear anything. That's the issues with left-handers. And I'm going to write in a blue color just so because it coordinates to the blue. So let's say on Monday you film. So you could put in here film and, a couple dots so that you can list out the, a tickler of the video you plan to film. You might have Instagram, and let's say on this day you wanted to create a post. I would do just -P for post. If it's a reel, you could do -R for reel, -S for story. Again, use abbreviations so that you have the most line left over to write your information down. And then you might have, say, Pinterest. Now, I'm going to abbreviate as well. Okay, so that would be Monday. Then let's say come Tuesday, you want to actually post a YouTube video. So in this case, you're going to, so ignore that. We're on the blue part now. So you're going to say on Tuesday, I'm going to YouTube post. And I do P for post and S for short or shorts. So you could do a YouTube post and then write in what you're going to post. And that will tell you what you're going to post on Tuesday. So that is, let's see, that's the second way you can use this daily checklist. Let me see if I have another one. The other way, there is one more. And again, you could, it all depends on how you plan on posting, is, let me grab this color. I think I've used it. Okay. So the other way you could use it is to section this off. Let me grab, do I have my ruler? Oop. Okay, so let's say all you have is a blog and YouTube. And again, if you have a 2-page spread, you could still make it work across the page. So let's say that was the case. You could do, I'm just going to give the example of 2. You could do this. Again, draw in some lines. They may not be straight, but you'll get the point. Let me get one more over here just so I can show you how it sections. Okay. So now what you could do is section however many you think you might need. 1 box or 2 box in this case, or you could just do all 4 boxes. Do 1 line down the middle, all 4 boxes, and it's just a running to-do list. So in this case, you know, this might be for, I'll write it on the side just because it would be easier probably. This could be for the blog. And then again, if you sectioned off this at the bottom, that could be for YouTube. You know, it all depends on how much you're planning on posting in a particular day or week, and it depends on your content plan. So that's 3 ways that you can use the checklist format to manage your social media. And there are tons of other ways. These are just the 3 that I have used that I have found helpful at times. Sometimes I had more to do on the blog than I would do for Facebook. So it just happened to work out that way. So with these gel pens, I'm going to open this up, but with the gel pens, they tend to goob up a little. So I'm going to just pull this page out quickly, let it dry. Okay. So the last format that I'm going to go through, I believe this is my last one. Yes. The last format is the teacher format. And the teacher format is very similar to the almost vertical format, but it's really horizontal broken down vertically. So there are 2 ways in which you can use this spread. I'm going to pull back out my markers, so I can show you the different colors. And so let me see. First, I'll go across the top. So when you go this way, you have 7, because it's like days of the week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe there's still 7 in the current planners. I don't know what planner this came out of. It must have been seasonal. It was probably, well, a teacher planner because it has seasonal stuff on it. Usually they had seasonal things in them. So the first way you could use this layout, you leave your days of the week as they are. And then up here at the top, again, I'm going to just put in options, but you can use however social media channels you have. Again, first box is always to do. Let's say blog. I just wrote crooked, but that's okay. This is demonstration. YouTube. And then on you could go. I'll just put another one in over here. IG. Okay. So that is one way. So in this instance, again, for the blog, let's say you're posting 3 times a week. You might post on Monday you're going to write, Tuesday you post. And when you write, sometimes you write more than one post in a day. So, you know, you're going to write on Wednesday, you're going to post on Thursday, and then Friday. So you're just going to bullet out when you plan on posting. Same thing for YouTube. You could even go so far as to say, you know, for YouTube, so on Monday you're going to film. Again, same topic, where you just abbreviate. On Tuesday, I got to move this a little now. On Tuesday, you're going to post, and on and on. And then the second way you can use the teacher layout is to put in a little more work into it, which is basically to white these out. So you're going to end up whiting out all the days of the week. So you have 5 boxes down and 7 across. So you would end up whiting these out. You might put a colorful box over them. And then what you're going to do is make the sidebar be the social media channel. Maybe you don't have 7 areas to manage, but you have 5. So in this case, you know, this might be YouTube. This might be IG. To change this like that, you're going to have to do a little more work because you're going to have to white out the boxes, cover them. Then you're going to have to come over here and write in the days of the week. So this would be 22, Monday. And on and on. So those are 2 ways that you could use the teacher layout in managing your social media. So there you have 5 different ways to manage your social media plan using 5 different formats or layouts from the Happy Planner. The nice thing about this is you could easily, if you like bullet journaling, you could absolutely copy the concept of the page into your bullet journal, and it would function the same exact way. So I think the video went a little longer than I wanted to, but I think I got across all the points I wanted to get across to you. So those are my tips for how to use the 5 different layouts. This was derived from the question that Amy B had posed about asking how to use the checklist format to manage social media. So I appreciate your comment, Amy, and I hope that this information has been helpful to you. I'm truly appreciative of you watching the videos and commenting and sharing and offering tips and suggestions of your own. So that is it for this video. I hope I have inspired you to get together your content, your social media content plan using one of these formats, and that you are inspired to do something creative today and every day, and that you create a beautiful life one plan at a time. Thank you for watching.